Washington live for us. Emerald, thank you. And here to react, we welcome in Mark Halperin, a political analyst who can help navigate through this new Biden administration. Mark, great to see you here. Of course, today is the first full day of the Biden administration. He got to work in the Oval Office yesterday. What do you sort of make of the groundwork that the new administration is trying to lay down with these new executive orders?
Emma, they're trying to do three things that all presidents have done in recent years. As you know, one is to show action, to look like they're doing something faster than they could get anything through Congress. Two is they want to change the policy. A lot of the things Joe Biden did, most of the things he did, I don't think anybody should be surprised at based on how he ran and how he criticized the president. And then finally, they want to send a signal to Congress about the direction they want to head in terms of policy, because executive orders can only get so much done. So there's lots of focus on executive orders the first day. There will be today, but legislating is really, I think, the bigger question. And that's where, while executive action is decisive and clear and crisp, legislating is messy. And this is going to be a particularly messy process for Joe Biden.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Of course, we heard the president make his speech yesterday at inauguration. He had previously claimed to try to unify the nation, and he mentioned that again during his speech. He also appeared to call out who he described as extremist. Listen to this.
A rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism that we must confront and we will defeat.
Now, critics online have expressed their thoughts that perhaps he was targeting Trump supporters in that line there. Is that how you are interpreting it?
I think it's certainly open to that interpretation, Emma. And look, I view this administration's early days through basically two prisms that encompass a lot of other things. One is, what is the president doing to actually reach out in a substantive way, reach people where they live, the issues they care about, to the 74 million people who voted for Donald Trump? He's got to work with his own supporters as well, too, of course. But I don't think he can really provide unity, to bring about unity, unless he appeals in some ways to at least some of those 74 million. And then the other is his promise, 100 million vaccines in 100 days. It's an extraordinary number, right? And so is he going to do it? That metric is so important. And that goes back to the question of, was he targeting Trump supporters there? I think a lot of Trump supporters would like to see the government take care of the pandemic. And so one way Joe Biden can reach out is to change his rhetoric and change the kind of policies he's talking about and emphasizing. But the other is, if Joe Biden really achieves that metric, that goal in 100 days, I think a lot of Trump supporters will like that and applaud that.
And I would also add to that targeted relief checks that he sort of promised along the way. I think a lot of people are waiting for that to come through. Members of his own party, you've got AOC calling for that and waiting for it to happen. Let's turn to another issue that's causing division. Of course, impeachment. New White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked where the administration stands, and here's what she said.
We are confident, though, that just like the American people can, the Senate can also multitask, and they can do their constitutional duty while continuing to conduct the business of the American people.
Again, some reading those remarks as her trying to write it off as a scheduling issue, as opposed to really acknowledging how much it could further divide the country. Do you think we'll have a clearer answer about where Joe Biden really stands on impeachment anytime soon?
It doesn't seem like he wants to take the lead on it, and it seems like Democrats are going forward. I'm still confused, Emma. I don't get it, because they said the reason they had to impeach and convict the president was because he was a clear and present danger to the republic in office. He's no longer in office. And what Democrats don't seem to be talking much about publicly, but I'm hearing it privately from some, is the concern. What if they do get a trial, whether it's 3 days, as Emerald suggested, some are talking about, whether it's longer, whether the president participates or not? What if they don't get a conviction? What will Democrats have to show for this effort, and the Republicans who support it? If they try to convict the president and they fail, and they've used time when they could be doing other business, including confirming Biden nominees, and no matter how many Republicans vote for it, this will further divide the country. So I'm scratching my head a little bit trying to figure out why Joe Biden doesn't try to put a stop to this, or maybe put it off for a year. Because, again, I say, what's the urgency now to mess up the early days of Joe Biden's attempts to bring unity to the country to try to get a trial going? I don't quite get it, but that seems to be where they're going. And as you suggested, Joe Biden doesn't seem to be doing anything, publicly at least, to stop it.
Let's talk now about those controversial personnel issues that Emerald had reported on. CBS White House senior investigative correspondent reported this about Trump NSA appointee lawyer Michael Ellis, saying, quote, a source familiar with events tells CBS News that recently appointed NSA General Counsel Michael Ellis was placed on administrative leave today because his appointment is now the subject of a DOD IG investigation. There's a separate newly leveled allegation here that Ellis mishandled classified information. That's how the tweet ends. All right, why do you think the Biden team wants him out? Why not just fire him?
Well, look, all these cases are different. And while I've followed the one you're talking about and some of the other people who have either been forced to resign or have been fired, I don't know all the facts yet. I think the important thing is that these be treated case by case. When President Trump got rid of some people from the previous administration, it was seen as the illegitimate sacking of people who deserve to be in their jobs. The press is largely covering these firings as a good thing, of Joe Biden riding to the rescue. I think each one, in both cases, the case of Trump 4 years ago, Biden now, each one should be judged on the merits. There are rules, there are procedures, there are norms. The president's entitled to have people in place who he wants, but it wouldn't be wrong to get rid of people if they're using a pretext. I just don't know in this case. But as I said, I'd urge everybody, whether they're in government or consumers of news, viewers of the channel, judge each one case by case on the merits, not based on politics. I think that's the right way our government should be staffed, and people should come and go.
Well, we appreciate your analysis as always. Mark Halperin joining us live this morning. Mark, thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.